What's happening, everybody? It's Stalley, 330 BCG MMG. My debut album, Ohio, is out right now, and this is The Stash, and you already know what it is. Man, the most memorable part is the start of it, going down to Atlanta, going to one of Ross's houses, sitting in the studio, the same studio that he did, Deeper Than Rap and Triller, all of his first joints. Just the history of that room and just really seeing where he started, and then I'm starting kind of in that same space. So, I didn't really have no differences or any problems at all, just because Ross trusts me, he trusts my musicality, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but he trusts me as far as putting together an album. So again, he allowed me to sit in the studio and really create by myself, no interruptions, no one bothering me, no one giving me opinions. I sat in the house, I got to wake up, go straight to the studio and really just get to work daily. And that was really the best advantage that I've had as an artist thus far, is the ability to just wake up at any time of the day, walk into the studio and and get out my inspiration. Well, the only time was that time in Atlanta. I was there for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months. But outside of that, everything was kind of like me. Some recording in New York, some in LA, some in Ohio. Like I was kind of bouncing around. But it was the same feeling, obviously. And it was good also to be able to go to different areas and kind of soak up different energy, from these different cities and really just vibe out and zone out and create. Because I think that Lincoln Way Nights was one of the mixtapes that was a true example of who Stalley was and what my sound was. So I really just wanted to dig deep into that and go back to that original sound and give that proper introduction to the people who were familiar with that project or Stalley. So and then it's got similarities to that, but it's definitely an amplified sound. It's definitely there's definitely progression and growth there. So I definitely wanted to really focus on that as well. I think that a record like Boomin' does, it's that Ohio energy, it's that Ohio bounce, it's that Ohio feel, that hustler mentality, that grind mentality. I'ma get it no matter what type of feel of a record. Problems is also that too, the day-to-day struggles, that everyday struggle of young men and women going through, just different scenarios and different things, trying to accomplish goals, but still trying to balance that real life and that family, with these people, with family, I should say. So those two records definitely stick out to me right now as far as just giving you a good example or feel of what Ohio is. That G-Funk definitely is birthed in Ohio, and Bootsy Collins, Fazo, Daz Band, Zapp and Roger Troutman, people like that who, kind of spearheaded that whole sound and movement. So, but, geniuses like Dre, and even people like the Dungeon Family and Outkast, they have taken bits and pieces of that and created that sound, what we know as the West Coast sound, or what we know as that Outkast sound, being that they have their own, sound. So it's just me wanting to kind of dig back and grab, bits and pieces of that inspiration into my own sound and really, represent for Ohio in a way to kind of pay homage and tip my hat to those guys who were so creative earlier, on way before I was even alive, just putting on and doing something different. And I feel like that's what Ohio, this album, does for me too. It gives you something different. It gives another entity to hip hop that hasn't been heard or felt before. This is definitely one of my favorites. 10 Jesus Pieces is one of my favorites as well. And I'm gonna pick 3. I know you said 1, so I'm gonna pick 3 because there's, like you said, there's so many. So I would say One More Shot with Ross, 10 Jesus Piece with Ross, and Hell's Angels with Ross. Yeah, well, we just dropped a video with Ty Dolla $ign for Always Into Something. We're going to be dropping the record with the One More Shot video soon with me, Ross, and August Alsina. And, we're going to do, if anybody knows Stalley, I try to make a video for every record on my album or on my project. So I'm definitely going to create and, you know, create, what should I say, a visual album with this, you know what I mean? I'm going to, you know, do videos for everything. And then touring is coming up soon as well. You know, I'm getting that straight now, so I'll be announcing those dates soon.
Okay, will it be a headline tour?
Yeah, it would be a headline tour. So it'll be like Ohio tour, you know, Stalley, Ohio tour, just for the album. That's a great question. I think if you in Ohio, you bumping in a Monte Carlo. I think if you in New York, you bumping in a Mercedes. You know, you should bump it in a 650i Grand Coupe BMW. Matter of fact, that's what you should bump it in. And if you bump it in LA, you should bump it in a 6'4 Impala.
That's when niggas will button up.